Peace, family, brothers and sisters. I hope all is well, man. Today's been a spectacular day. I was just on the Sonetta show. He had a great show where brother Professor Smalls was on, and he was talking about Haiti and the current situation. And he's a great historian and great teacher, so he was able to give us some backdrop story as to explain as to how we got here, right? So the before and after, right? and and the interim. So that was very powerful. I got to ask him a question or two, and shout out to Sonetta, great brother, man. That brother's God sent. Because I tell you, I think I was introduced to his page. I think sometime back in 2017, and my life ain't been the same since. I tune into his channel all the time because that's the one place that you can go to actually hear brothers who think like you, who see the world like you, and have many other views and perspectives outside of the regular dogma, the regular thinking folks out here. But I just want to talk about the current situation in Haiti just a little bit. I'm not going to be too long, but I still have that energy pumped up inside of me from being a guest on the show. Well, I wasn't a guest, but being able to get on the live and ask a question, and even as the show ended, there were a lot of brothers exchanging messages back and forth because that energy still was there, still resonated. So I said, hey, let me make a video. I haven't made a video in a long time. I've been wanting to put up videos, but I'm such a spiritual warrior. I'm such a revolutionary warrior. I sometimes have to sit back and think like, yo, listen, you get on these feeds, like you have to have tact. You have to be mindful of what you say because anything you say can and will be used against you in the court of law. And you know how the European does. He'll store your shit forever and then bring it up out of nowhere 20, 30 years later and try to use it against you, right? So we have to be very cautious and instrumental with our words and how we speak and how we move on YouTube. Like I said, I don't have too many videos, but from watching other folks and listening to other folks, I noticed that some things they have to kind of tiptoe around. And me myself, I haven't done thorough research to find out what I can and what I cannot say, but I do understand there are trigger words out there that are like dynamite, so we have to stay away from them. But I just want to say right now, so what's been going on in Haiti is that there's chaos. There's ultra chaos right now. It's extremely chaotic. What just happened recently last weekend was that there were about there's a precinct in the capital of Haiti, in Port-au-Prince, which is about less than 1 mile away from the National Palace, right? Which is kind of like the epicenter of Port-au-Prince. And what happened? I think they were housing about several thousands of prisoners there, maybe 2 to 3 thousand. And I believe your boy Barbecue, who's who's a former police officer, who's the head of his own gang or paramilitary group, right? And they went out there and freed those prisoners. And then there's another city in Quadebuque, I think it's called, in English is translated as the cross of bouquets, and they freed those guys there. So what I think those guys are trying to do is they're trying to assimilate and create some kind of force, some kind of strength, right? Some kind of camaraderie that can combat, what the government has been dishing out. Um, Primarily, they're going against the Prime Minister Ariel. Ariel, he's been in power. He was put in power by the United States of America, and he was supposed to have stayed there for 3 months or so, I believe. Now it's been now 3 years, and things have gotten worse and worse and worse. And you have to say, hey, listen, if you're in power, you're controlling government, you have some type of say into how the country operates and functions. Why are we seeing things just go awry like this? Like, why is there so much destabilization? You know, understand what I'm saying? And after a while, as Haitian people, we don't mess around. We give you a chance to show and prove, and if you don't show and prove, now it's coupe tete boule kai. You understand what I'm saying? Now it's time to chop off heads and burn down them houses. You feel me? So that's kind of what's been going on now. So these brothers and sisters who are not in the right place psychologically, honestly, because when you've been in prison so long, you haven't been eating right, and then now you're on the streets. You're probably gonna revert to tactics that are from the lower chakras. You understand what I'm saying? You're gonna go back to old folks that were your enemies. You're gonna go back to old neighborhoods. You're gonna try to pick up where you left off at. So, for example, I'll give you an example. As in my home, we had a brother that we rented out to, who's a good friend of the family. He lived upstairs, and when the prisoners were free, I think this happened Thursday night or Saturday, I believe, or Sunday. they came to my home. So some of these men came to my home. So they went upstairs because one of the brothers, one of the prisoners, ex-prisoner, right? He had a beef with the brother who lived upstairs, and they tried to break down the door. So what my friend, our neighbor, what he had to do was he had to carry his 2-year-old child, his wife, and another family member. They ran to the back of. They were upstairs, right? So my cousin had built a window, and he was able to climb out the window and jump down on top of the other roofs and escape for his life. Um, and my cousins, they actually had to do the same thing. I'm talking about 2, 3 in the morning. There's no electricity. You understand what I'm saying? That's how vicious things were. And I believe that same weekend, or a couple of days before, a couple of these guys, they had came into my home in Haiti in Port-au-Prince, and they broke down the doors of my aunt's apartment, her room, the room that she's staying in, and they broke it down, right? And they entered, and she was just telling me this yesterday. They stood by her bedside, and they were like, "Hey, you know what? We're here to get some money. We're here to get some money, ma. We're here to get some money. Not mine in the sense that we use in America, but kind of like saying, elderly, like how you talk to the elderly. They're saying, yo, we just here for some money. Do you got any money?" And my aunt, she was calm and patient, and she has that righteous spirit over her, and that spirit, that godlike spirit. She was like, you know what? Unfortunately, fellas, I don't have no money, because every time we put out stuff to sell, because there's small merchants, street merchants in Haiti. She's like, hey, there's no money in the streets, so we're not able to generate any kind of revenue. So she told me that those 3 dudes that were standing by her bedside, they kissed her and said, okay, we're out. We'll see you later. Just like that, in a calm voice. And she was like, okay. So then they went into our backyard, or in the corridors, right? Because, in Haiti, there's a lot of open space, right? You come inside the home, but there's another open space that leads to outside, but you're still confined within that house area, like a house with a gate, right? So there were some motorcycles there. They tried to steal those motorcycles, but those motorcycles were chained down. They didn't belong to us, and they were kind of harassing my older cousin, who's the eldest of the 7, and they kind of were harassing him. And he was like, hey, listen, those are not my motorcycles. They're just parked here. And so what they ended up doing was they stole his television, um, and they harmed him. Fortunately, it wasn't severe, but they still managed to harm him. You know what I mean? Gun butted him in the stomach and everything like that. So that was that night. Then they came back again. So eventually, what ended up happening was on Sunday, I believe, everyone from the neighborhood, they kind of just left. They left all their stuff, and they just left, because when they saw that the prisoners were rampant in the streets and just terrorizing everything, they just left. So my block right now is pretty much barren. Everyone has left. There's some friends of mine, they're sleeping in the streets with their families, and that's just it. I got one of my boys, he's in America now, but his wife and his children are out there in the streets, and there's nothing that he can do. There's nothing that most of us can do here in America. So we're in dire straits right now. And of course, some of this destabilization, a lot of this destabilization, it wasn't brought on by the Haitian people, because you have to understand there's bigger powers at play. Just like here in America, us Haitians, back when we look at Americans, like, especially black Americans, like, yo, how y'all not living it up? How y'all not having the best of the entire world? How you not having your cake and eat it too? You were born in America. You have access to all this great education. You have access to jobs, and all these different things. But us here in America, in the diaspora, we understand that there's something called racism, white supremacy, and it's global, and it's hell bent on keeping us on lockdown and keeping us down, right? So although we here in a place that somewhat seems like paradise, we know it's hell, because the war is psychological, right? And the minute you step out of bounds, there's repercussions to that. So those people over there, in the islands, the Caribbeans, those brothers and sisters out there, even in Africa, they don't understand that psychological warfare that we deal here with in America. Like, even waking up, going to work is a big ordeal sometimes, because you have to interact with these people, and they really have no interest in the betterment of you and your people. So, although you're making a living, you're interested in the bigger picture, which is sovereignty and being able to help your people, and so that they can be experience financial liberation in all aspects, right? Liberation in all aspects. So that's some of the things that we deal here with in America. So that's what's been going on. We're the Prime Minister right now, Ariel, who we have been trying to get out of power. He's actually in Puerto Rico right now, I believe. He's traveled to Kenya and a couple of other places. He has not been able to re-enter Haiti, and the gangs have taken over the airports and all that. So those brothers, they're serious. I wouldn't say they're gang members. I would say they're brothers who have been displaced. They're brothers who are just not quite there psychologically and emotionally. They're distraught. You could just imagine all the psycho trauma that they've experienced, especially being in prison and you're not being fed right. And I think these guys are in a cell, 4, 5, 6 deep in one cell. That's probably by 5 by 5 or less than that, based on the images that I've seen on video. So these people are not like us. They're not in the right state of mind. So it's real easy to blame them. It's always easy to blame the victim, right? But in order to find out the causations, you have to start using your brain and doing the research. And that's when most people, they just tap out. They're like, nah, you know what? I'll just talk about it on the surface level. I ain't got time to do no research. Like, I don't need to do all that. You understand what I'm saying? So we have to be very mindful of this. So we don't know what's going to happen next. I do know that we're in talks with Kenya, although Kenya has deemed that it's unconstitutional for them to come to Haiti and provide us security, military protection. Somehow it feels as if the negotiations are still in the air. A lot of people have different sentiments. I don't really know the true history of Kenyans, but I heard that a lot of them are corrupt, and I don't know how it will go. I'm a little optimistic because it's always good just to have some type of camaraderie, some type of aid militarily to help suppress the uprising. But one thing I do know is that those guys, although they are brothers, they have no ties to the Haitians, so it's not gonna be a problem for them to bust a Haitian in the head. You know what I mean? And my fear is that some innocent folks might be victims because they don't speak our language. They can't tell who's who and what's what. It's just kind of like in America. You understand what I'm saying? All they know is a black man. They know it's a black man. Police feared for his life. Like, it's a black man. I don't know what he had. So that kind of stuff. So it's a lot, folks. I know I just gave you guys a lot of information. Hopefully you're able to take this in and do what you will with it. Maybe it'll answer some of your questions, some of the questions you had. But this is not a battle that's going to end overnight. You have to remember, racism, white supremacy is nothing nice. America has been in bed with Haitians for a long time. I think in the early 1960s, I think even, or earlier than that, they had came to Haiti and rewrote our Constitution. Can you just imagine that? Another country rewriting another country's Constitution. Imagine someone coming into your home and saying, hey, man, you know what? This is how your money's going to get spent. This is how we're going to spend money here in your home. You're going to bring it in, but this is what we're going to do with it. It's kind of like that. And you know what? We're gonna take the keys and we'll give you a copy next time. So that's kind of what's been going on. And I know at times it may seem as if we're in control, but Haitians are not really in control. Haitians are not really in control. If it was up to those guys, they would have left us for dead. But when you're looking at a big political space and you're talking about sociopolitics, you can't just do that type of thing, right? What's in it for America? The thing that's in it for America is that it's able to hinder or deter Haiti from being able to take advantage of those natural resources, such as the oil, such as the gold. I know a lot of you have been hearing about that, but Haiti's sitting on more oil than Venezuela. So just imagine, and I tell my friends all the time, like, do you really think these folks want black people, no matter where we're at, to be happy, to be feeling like we're living in a paradise and not have to come to America? Right? Even us in America here, do you think that they really want us happy and not have to come into the office 5 days a week or at all? Having our own businesses, being able to sustain our own selves, having our dollars circulate within our communities and not having to go outside the communities. Because you have to remember, there's 300 million so-called people who are classified as white, and we don't get none of those dollars. I doubt if we get 0.1% of those dollars that go into black business here in America. You hear me? There's 300 million group of people classified as white in America, and I highly doubt there's more than there's even 0.1% that's spent with black businesses. I highly doubt it, right? Um, so as far as America and Haiti, it's always been an ongoing struggle because they've always been stymieing our political landscape. They've always been there in the background, doing dirty deeds, dirty things. And we all know America has the FBI and the CIA. They go into different countries and destabilize it with propaganda for years, for years, for years, for years. They oust presidents. They take the side of the wicked, or they take the righteous, make them look wicked. They take the person that the people have voted for, and they oust that person and say that person's bad for you, go. So we all know America's good at these games, and they've been playing games with Haiti for a long, 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 long time. It's going to be a long fight ahead. So folks, don't think it's just an easy thing, as in, oh, the Haitian people just need to act right and everything will come together. No, we're talking about a big political landscape. We're talking about a country that, if this country is delivered, it's going to be able to sustain itself financially. Other nations might take heed and might be encouraged. They might want to start going to Haiti, traveling to Haiti. Same thing with all these islands. We might want to go to these places, invest our money there, and start building families there, and start building businesses there, and help those countries grow economically. And most European countries don't want that, right? You see Africa suffers from the fact that they have all these resources that they can't even prosper from. So you could just imagine poor little old Haiti. We don't even have a military. So I just wanted to shed some light on that for you all. I felt like this energy was still sitting within my spirit. I said, hey, let me just drop a video. Hopefully you all like it. Hopefully I've shared something of value to you all. And I'll be trying my best to make some more videos, but I said, folks, I'm such a spiritual, such a revolutionary warrior, man. I ain't got time to play with the devil, man. I'm telling you, man. And I ain't got no tact. I ain't got no chill. You understand what I'm saying? I come with it straight from the heart. I come with it raw, you know what I'm saying? But there's a new covenant rising now, and you need to anchor in that new covenant, because what I'm hoping to do and what I will be doing in the future is showing you all how to develop that unwavering spirit of righteousness and black love and revolutionaryism, right? I think I've said that correctly. Shout out to Dr. Umar. Shout out to Yvette Carnell. Shout out to Antonio Marsh, Tone Talks. Shout out to Adar. Shout out to FBA. Shout out to Tariq Nasheed. Shout out to Sonetta. Who else? Shout out to Jabario, Sazi, Brother Reggie, or everybody in the House of Consciousness. Who else do I listen to? Even to Harker Bay. Shout out to you, brother. Shout out to, what's the young brother name, man? All of you folks who are not afraid to speak on the dilemmas and the plight that black people face under this construct of racism, white supremacy. I big you guys up, because we all have our demons. We all have our trials and tribulations that we must overcome. So I'm not going to knock anybody for some of the hardships and ordeals that they deal with in life, right? Nature Boy. Oh, God, this brother here, man. I feel bad for this brother, bro. You should have just took the plea, brother. I don't know why he didn't take the plea, but, again, this brother may not even be in his right mind. Well, clearly he's not in his right mind. You understand what I'm saying? Why wouldn't you take the plea? You gonna get life, but we all know these other murderers, Kyle Rittenhouse and them, they ain't getting life. That brother, that Caucasian that raped that baby behind a dumpster, he's not getting life. So, I just wanted to comment on that real quick. Those are some type of things that's been going on. You know what? Let me make another video and talk about that and some other things that's been going on in the media, because one of the reasons I've refrained from making videos, I just kind of didn't want to be another person gossiping or talking about current events. But how could you not talk about current events, right? I definitely want to touch up on the Beyonce thing. She looks beautiful, by the way, with that freaking blonde hair. She looks gorgeous. Shout out to Hove. You understand what I'm saying? Had a couple of the first 1 or 2, 3 albums. Know these albums damn near verbatim. But I want to talk about that a little bit because election season's coming and all they want to do is have us. All they've been doing, and the media is just talking about Beyonce and this nonsense about this country music that doesn't really do us any good. I don't see how it benefits us. So, of course, you know, smoke screen. It's a smoke screen, of course, right? So maybe I'll do another video and talk about that. So peace, ashe, asheo aibobo. That's my thing. Asheo aibobo, asheo aibobo, asheo aibobo. Repeat that a couple of times. You'll hear that tremble within your chest. You'll hear that energy rise, and you'll be able to come closer to God-like consciousness. All right. Peace and God bless.